top line on a sales catalogue page is so often significant. I'm talking about the vendor, the very top line. A consignor that consistently submits quality stock that transcend into racehorses of rare ability is Walter Connors Sluggara Farm. Its record speaks for itself. It's synonymous with quality and with success at the highest level. Ask any of the big boys who've benefited from investing in Sluggara produce. Walter, it's an absolute joy to be here at Sluggara, where so many of jump racing's greats have spent their formative years under your care.
I suppose we've been lucky. We started off like anybody else in horses with a budget of 20,000, so we spent 22. Luckily enough, survived the beginning and learned, off some of our mistakes, and others we continually repeat in the vain hope that we're going to prove they're right.
We're a couple of kilometres outside of Cappoquin, Dungarvan, 10k away or so. Has this always been home to the Connors family?
No, I was reared in Dungarvan. My dad was a practicing vet there, and he had pedigree cattle and a few brood mares, and so we were, if you like, reared with pedigrees. That got us, got the interest from a very young age. I always had a horse point to point, so that was, I suppose you could say point to pointing was our GAA.
Your dad was the much revered Nicky Connors. Like yourself, he was a vet. He had huge success at the game you're playing at.
Yeah, and I suppose, it was very different then. There was no travel. There was, so it was just broodmares and a couple of those, and there was only a single store sale. So you were pretty much confined even to the local stallion. An awful lot of, we were probably lucky, down through the origin of the Grange stud. It's there for, a couple of 100 years nearly now. And we were just lucky to be in that Blackwater Valley and had access to some of those stallions, and that was the start of it from my memory.
Your dad bred Cool Ground, a Gold Cup winner. Fantastic.
Yeah, sure it was. He sold them to Tom Costello as a store, because at that time, as I said, we used point to point a filly or to come back to breed from, and the other horses were sold young, and he did, an unparalleled success rate with making those horses and getting them into stables where they flourished. I don't think it's been repeated since. I think, when you look at him, sold the winners of 7 Gold Cups. So, I think that it's something that there's no point in any of the rest of us aiming for, because I don't think it's achievable.
You're a vet like your father. I understand that your bloodstock it's very much a family involvement, isn't it, between you all?
Well, I suppose it is, and it probably has to be, because I'm so one-dimensional. I don't really think I'm capable of having a conversation about anything other than ours. But no, it is. It's our, it's our interest. It's our hobby.
Una and Izzy.
That's right.
Your wife
and daughter. And our oldest girl is more interested in mathematics and earning an honest living. And Harry is 9, so he's not, he's just a Minecraft generation. But no, Izzy is interested, and Una there does most of the work, and she gives me a chance to agree with her.
We've talked about your dad producing a Gold Cup winner in Cool Ground. Walter, you've hit the bullseye as well. Don Cossack. Now, you bought him as a very young horse, as a foal perhaps. You bought him in Germany. Tell me, how did that come about, and what floated your boat about him?
A couple of things. One was that it was during the Celtic Tiger. Foals were very expensive here, and there was 2 sons of Sadler's Wells that stood in Germany, and I just thought, he was an obvious influence, and I thought we'd try those. And we went to Germany, and Axel Donnerstag brought us around. The abiding memory I have for Don Cossack was he was just weaned, and they left him out in the field to trot around for us, and he started galloping around the field. And I remember Una saying to me, "Just tell them put him away, or even they'll see how he can gallop." So, that's my memory of how of Don Cossack. That that he just was a noble looking horse, and he told his own story afterwards.
He did you proud. Now, he was born in Germany, but obviously France is huge to you. You've got eyes over there, and you've bought a lot of your good horses.
Yeah, Seamus Murphy, you know, we've been friends a long, long time, and we've, you know, bought a lot of horses together. He goes over there. He's a fluent French speaker. He's a very good people person, and he does a lot of the networking, and he buys a lot of the foals. And
Walter, what's the routine with these foals that you buy?
we get them home when they're weaned. Shane and Rachel and Una then do the handling of them there in the yard and put them away. For the winter, we indoor rear them in loose sheds, and that's an attempt to have early spring grass that we haven't the paddocks destroyed. We'd aim to be finished our winter kind of around about now, that we'd have our horses gone to grass, and they'll stay out till November. Then the yearlings stay around the farm here. The 2-year-olds we have an out farm in Lismore near Ballyduff, and the 2-year-olds go over there, and they come back and kind of decide November, December of their 2-year-old year which horses are going for sales. Will an odd horse will go back to France to train them, because it will have been a request by the breeder when we bought them, because they want them for premiums. So we have a couple that'll go back there, and we have a couple of horses we'll always have a couple of horses to point, because as I say, that's our day out.
I was going to say, I mean, part of your skill set, and a hugely important one, is to find the right market and expose him to make maximum value. You're not afraid to put a bridle on a horse and put him in training.
No, I suppose that's what we always were reared with. Race horses were for racing, and we weren't maybe as concerned with there being absolutely perfect physical specimens, that we tried to marry the pedigree and the animal, and what we might forgive, maybe somebody that was just selling store horses mightn't forgive. And you know, one size doesn't fit all, and what works for some people mightn't work here, you know, because we'd have a lot of horses then that mightn't be good sales horses.
Envoy Allen didn't go to a sale. You brought him to Ballinaboula to expose him, and
yeah, and sure, look, as I say, we'd have a couple every year, but you know, the mare hadn't bred a winner. If the mare's bred a black type horse, particularly since we bought the foal, well, we feel that there's too big a risk maybe then, because the horse has got quite a good sales value, and we'll maybe put those horses in the sale, and maybe, you know, we try. Most of our pointers will have been from maybe a first season sire or a young mare.
jolly hard to win a point. I mean, in that Ballinaboula race, you had appreciated in third place.
That's right, yeah. You know, it's intriguing to think that you go down the road and you say, you know, a pitch tent and a couple of white stakes that are making a parade ring, and maybe the store horses come in for the 4-year-old maiden, and after costing, and you're going, well, he cost 100,000, and he cost 80,000, and he cost 120,000, and all of a sudden there's 600,000 or 700,000, and there's only one winner.
Tell me about Espoir D'Allen. Magnificent horse, 15-length winner of a champion hurdle, died as a 5-year-old, sadly. I think he won 9 of his 10 races. How did he come about? And because you won an AQPS flat race in France with him.
That's right. He wasn't an overly big horse. He was another one of those horses where the breeder had asked us. We bought 3 foals from him that time, and it wasn't really, you know, we got Espoir D'Allen and Envoy D'Allen and Enjoy D'Allen. There were 3 black type horses, but it wasn't really any great judgment, because he had 5 foals that year, and the 5 of them were black type horses subsequently. So it wasn't any case for patting ourselves on the back that we picked out the best of them. But he was, you know, so we sent him back there, and he won a bumper as a 3-year-old, and JP bought him then and sent him to Gavin. I'm sure he got on great. It was unfortunate, the demise he had, but people got to see his ability anyway.
You've been such a huge supporter of the Derby Sale, and we're so grateful. Tell me about Kopek Des Bordes now. He went to Fairy House and he's won his 3 races. He won the Supremes. He could be anything.
Sure, look, of course he's very exciting, you know, and he was a half brother to 4 black type horses. So I thought at the time that it was probably a very big risk to go racing him. Seamus bought him, and so we had him back here from when he was weaned, and he just was among the bunch of the horses then until November, December. We said that, he was a horse for the sale. So we went on there, and it's fantastic to have an owner like Charlie McCarthy, who's, what the essence of a national hunt owner that we were when we were growing up, gets tremendous fun out of it, appreciates the horse, that it's the horse's talent that has him where he is. All the owners that have had, goodish horses from us have been deeply appreciative of the horse, which is a satisfaction for us, because if horses are individuals, if they were like cows, they'd have numbers in their ears.
Kopek Des Bordes got you off to an absolute flyer, first race on the first day, and it didn't end there. Caldwell Potter, it was a joy to see him win. Now, he is out of Matney, Laveron there. Very, very interesting how you came upon her and the success that she's had.
The first foal we bought out of her was Mighty Potter, and then bought Caldwell Potter, and then the man that owned Remy Cotan that was retiring, and the mare was going to be sold, and Seamus said to me, that's the French person that wanted to buy her, he said there won't be any more foals for sale if he buys her. So we bought her then, and at the time Mighty Potter had won a bumper, but we just liked what we'd seen, and it had been lucky for us, but did we think she was going to be what she turned out to be? Not at all,
Brighter days ahead, and the story goes on. It's an incredible story.
Yeah, and it's again, it's part of you can either call it the mystery of national hunt racing, or the magic of it, or else the randomness. I'm not quite sure. She was from very humble beginnings, as it were, but she just is one of those stories.
Well, I tell you what, one of our sons gave us a big day last June, 350,000 for the gelding. What a lovely horse he was.
Yeah, he was an education for us, that when you have that big pedigree, you need to have a pretty good physical horse as well.
He had size, he had looks, he had an effortless walk.
Yeah, all the things, we thought he had all the things that you can see, but the bit that makes him a racehorse is the bit you can't see.
You knew you had the goods, and the right people were looking at him.
Yeah, look, sure, it's if you don't get a bit of a kick from that, what's the point of doing it? That's it's certainly as near to the top of the tree as we're going to get. We don't have flat horses, so that's it, so the trick will be to try and find another one.
We are hugely grateful for your involvement in the Derby Sale story, and we really look forward to welcoming you in June.
Sure, we always look forward to going, I've been going a long time, longer as a vet than I've been going there as a consignor. But, we kind of have what we nearly call a Tattersalls clock, that once Christmas is there, there's the February sale, and then we'll be getting the store sale, horses will be preparing, and then there's the Derby sale, and then I'm back there for September flat sale, and then there's the foal sale, and they're our 4 seasons.
Long may it continue. Great talking to you, Walter.
It's a pleasure.